One sunny day, little Allie woke up with excitement. He decided to spend the day outside having fun with his friends. As he stepped into the garden, he felt the warm sunshine and saw the beautiful flowers swaying in the breeze. Allie started his day by jumping up and down with joy. He felt like he was bouncing on clouds. After a few jumps, he began running around the garden. He felt the wind in his hair and heard the birds singing. After running for a while, Allie decided to slow down and walk. As he walked, he admired the colorful flowers. He bent down to smell them and smiled. Then, he saw his friends in the distance. Excited, he skipped over to them, his feet barely touching the ground. Allie's friends greeted him with big smiles. Together, they started dancing to the rhythm of their laughter. They clapped their hands and sang their favorite songs. The garden was filled with music and joy. Suddenly, Allie remembered that their team had lost a match recently. His smile faded for a moment, and a tear rolled down his cheek. But then he gathered his strength and shouted, "We will win the next match!" His friends cheered him on, feeling inspired by his determination. Allie had an idea. He leaned over and whispered to his friend, "Let's learn something new today." His friend nodded with excitement, eager to see what adventure awaited them. They all headed to the pool. The cool water felt refreshing as they jumped in. They swam around, laughing and splashing each other. Then they took turns diving into the pool, making big splashes. After swimming, they saw a hill nearby. They decided to climb it. It was a bit challenging, but they helped each other along the way. When they reached the top, they found a slide waiting for them. One by one, they slid down, feeling the rush of the wind. Next, they headed to the swing set. They took turns swinging high into the sky. As Allie swung back and forth, he closed his eyes and imagined he was a bird flying above the clouds. After swinging, they found a football and decided to play. Allie kicked the ball as hard as he could. His friend caught it and threw it back. They ran around, pushing and pulling each other in a friendly game. During their game, Allie noticed a heavy stone. He decided to lift it and carry it to the other side of the field. It was tough, but he managed it with determination. Halfway through, he accidentally dropped the stone. His friends helped him pick it up, and they continued their game. They found a bouncy ball and started bouncing it around. The ball went up and down, bringing smiles to their faces. Then, they decided to spin around in circles, getting dizzy but having so much fun. Feeling a bit dizzy, they decided to change their game. They got down on the ground and started crawling like little bugs. Then they stood up and tiptoed around, trying to be as quiet as possible. Suddenly, they all started stomping their feet, making the ground shake. They giggled and wiggled their hands, making funny poses and laughing at each other. To relax a bit, they decided to stretch. They reached their arms high above their heads and then bent down to touch their toes. It felt good to stretch their muscles after all the fun. Allie saw something interesting on the ground. He quickly grabbed it and held it up for everyone to see. His friends gathered around, curious to see what he had found. They all started shaking their bodies, feeling the rhythm of the music. Then they twisted and turned around, making the world spin with them. As the sun began to set, it was time to go home. Allie and his friends gathered their things and waved goodbye to each other. They promised to meet again for more adventures. Allie walked home with a big smile on his face. He had spent a wonderful day with his friends, filled with laughter, games, and unforgettable memories. He couldn't wait to tell his family all about it. And that's the story of Ali and his friends, who turned an ordinary day into an extraordinary adventure.